It has been a roller coaster week in Albany as Governor Hochul suddenly reversed her position and called on the MTA to temporarily halt the congestion pricing program for Manhattan. Here's what the governor said as she defended her decision at a news conference last night.
New Yorkers tell me they're just not ready right now for congestion pricing. And the closer we got to the June 30th implementation date, I heard from more and more anxious New Yorkers that this would be a real hardship for them. Working and middle-class families who can't afford an additional $15 a day toll when they're simply trying to go to their jobs.
Meanwhile, the legislative session in Albany ended with lawmakers unable to reach an agreement for what will happen with congestion pricing in the future or what will happen for funding for the MTA moving forward. Now, our State House reporter Bernadette Hogan has been closely following all of this. It's been quite remarkable. Bernadette joins us now with more. Bern, it was quite a night there last night in Albany. First of all, I want to ask you, I know several reporters kept trying to pin her down on this. Does she even have the authority to delay the start of congestion pricing? She says she seems to think that she does, but a lot of people even question that.
Right. The governor said that she cleared this, so to speak, with some of the MTA's lawyers. And actually, the MTA did release a statement last night that said they are kind of put in a very hard place, let's call it, because they need federal, city, and state approval. And now that the governor appears to have yanked state approval, they are caught between a rock and a hard place. But Rocco, the MTA board still needs to vote on an official delay of congestion pricing. And again, the governor, although it was kind of vague the way she explained it, she seemed to think that she does have the authority to do so, but it remains to be seen. We have a couple more weeks until the MTA board does meet and possibly votes on this.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see what the board does. Legislative leaders were asked to weigh in yesterday about what would happen next. Here's what we heard from the state Senate Majority Leader and the state Assembly Speaker.
We are extremely committed to funding the MTA, just as we are committed to mitigating congestion.
The governor's made a request for us to figure something out. And so with the Senate Majority Leader, her conference, myself and my conference and the governor, we're going to figure out. So it's either now, sometime between now and January, or January.
Right. So the uncertainty described by the two legislative leaders is, very palpable. This is not something that Albany lawmakers were expecting to have to be dealing with at the end of session. And now they're raising the possibility that they might need to come back before the start of the next legislative session in January to figure out this mess created, frankly, by yanking congestion pricing from the MTA's capital plan.
Yeah, the governor told reporters that she changed her mind after speaking to people at diners in Manhattan. They told her that they were concerned about the policy. We were kind of scratching our head over that. I don't know what that was like in the room there last night.
Right. And also the governor, actually, she did just recently get an apartment on the Upper East Side. So some of this might be true. I mean, I do have firsthand knowledge of seeing and meeting with the governor in a diner. But at the same time, Rocco, this was about improving the transit system in and around Manhattan, because there's just been much needed system upgrades, getting people into the central business district, and then just being able to provide funding for the MTA to improve buses and elevators, et cetera. So the governor pulling this surprise move really it really was unexpected and a total bombshell earlier this week.
And legislative leaders last night made it very clear they were annoyed with her that she tried to kind of cram like a last second, plan down their throat basically to come up with the funding for the MTA. That clearly did not happen. It was not going to work, and they basically said it was really unfair. So moving forward, what will this relationship between the governor and the legislature look like now?
Well, some lawmakers that I spoke to said that they were concerned with the last-minuteness of her decision making, and now they might have to come back to the drawing board and figure out another source of revenue for the MTA, and that could mean raising taxes, Rocco. We're not sure how exactly, but lawmakers this week, they slapped down a suggestion by the governor to raise taxes on a certain sect of businesses within Manhattan. They said absolutely no way, especially if the governor is saying she's delaying congestion pricing because she's concerned about affordability and the struggle to recover from the pandemic.
Yeah, she said it was a very small tax that she was proposing, but a tax is a tax anyways. Okay, Bernadette Hogan, we appreciate your reporting on this. Certainly will not be the last word. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your community, click the subscribe button here. You can also download the Spectrum News app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.